What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn. I'm back with another Real Housewives of Atlanta video. We have to talk about last night's episode I put on my Instagram. That's what it's made for. What Shamea did last night on the Real Housewives of Atlanta is what the show is made for. It's the reason that they cast people who have a history, because they want people to let the chopper fly. They want them to spill the old tea, spill the mama tea. That's what Andy Cohen, that's what the Bravo executives, that's what they want them to do. So even though what Shamea did, in my opinion, some of our opinions, was a lot. It might have been too much, but at the same time, it was just right for the show. And so on last night's episode, we saw Shamea got jealous because Porsha made up with Kelly. Now, Porsha's thing has always been, in this social circle, she is the queen of the circle. Like right now, she is the main OG of the show. She is the one with social value on the show. Regardless of Shamea's net worth, regardless of her husband's net worth, which is ridiculous. His net worth is ridiculous. Regardless of that, in this social circle, like Porsha, because she's been on this show for so long, like 10 plus years, she's the OG on the show. She is the one with social value on this show. And so what she did was take Shamea's friend. She took Shamea's friend. She took Kelly. Now, Kelly is the one that is living in one of Shamea's houses. She's living in one of Shamea's houses. She's dating one of the men that Shamea provided for her. You know, she's doing all of these things. Like, Shamea is doing all these things for Kelly. And what did Kelly do? But make up with Porsha. They had that moment where it was almost like an entire cast moment, except for, I think, Pinky, Shamea, and Angela weren't there. But they had that moment where they made up when they were talking about Kelly's lawsuit or what have you. They made up. To me, it felt like in a real way. Like woman to woman, like outside of the show. Woman to woman, like I get what you're going through. So they made up. But what Porsha did by making up with Kelly was take Shamea's friend. Shamea was friends with Kelly. She was friends with K. Michelle, but even K. Michelle said something is going on with Shamea, and their friendship, I should say friendship, is kind of like on a thin line. And so she used her social value, and it triggered Shamea. It triggered Shamea. And so Shamea had a conversation with her mother. And I shared before on my YouTube and on my Instagram, I shared before that I feel like Shamea's mother manipulates her. Like she plays her like a game of chess, like a chess piece. She uses her daughter like a chess piece in her whatever with Miss Diane, with Porsha's mother. Like even though they're no longer friends, it seems like they no longer communicate. You can see it's still something going on there. And it seems like Shamea's mother manipulates her daughter. Now, the method of manipulation, I think, is spiritual. If you go to my Instagram, I break down spiritual manipulation. You have to realize, as a human being, you have to realize that there are people who want you to receive them as God in your life. Like they want you to receive their word as the word of God. And I think that's how Shamea's mother presents in her life. She presents as a prophet. She presents as the word of God. She also presents as messy. And that's what K. Michelle was getting at, even though she exaggerated about the whole situation. She was getting at, she was confused because are you a prophet? Are you spiritual or are you messy? You're praying for me to do a certain thing, and something about that feels manipulative. And so I want y'all to notice, and I'm sure some of y'all did notice, that when Shamea was on the phone with her mother, it was after that call. It was after that conversation that she came to the table with that drama about their mothers. And I feel like if they were to show the unedited version of that, I feel like her mother hyped her up to clear her name. And I feel like that's one of the reasons Shamea's mother wanted her on the show, to clear her name with the whole Miss Diane situation. So Shamea brought it to the table. She used Porsha's daughter as like bait, to bait her into the conversation, because Porsha has been paying her dust. Because again, Porsha has a social value, so she can pull back. She's been paying Shamea dust on this show, but Shamea used her daughter because she knew if the conversation is about Porsha's daughter, Porsha's going to participate in the conversation. So she used her daughter as bait. So of course, Porsha participated in the conversation. But what Shamea didn't anticipate is that Porsha is a professional. She's a reality TV professional, not just a reality TV star. She's a reality TV professional. So when Shamea brought out there, well, your mother tried to sleep with my mother's husband. Her mother married the man. Let's just call him Bob. I don't know his name, but let's just call him Bob. Her mother married Bob. The same Bob that was probably open to Miss Diane. That was probably like, come on with it. That same Bob, Shamea's mother married. And she wasn't prepared for the fact that these are reality TV professionals. They all have something in the chamber. Like, they all dig up dirt on each other. And that's why, for example, when Angela and Pinky were going back and forth, it looked like rehearsed reads. It's because they're ready for each other. And so when Shamea came for Porsha, you know, with that read about her mother and said, I didn't want to embarrass you. Of course, Porsha was like, I'm not embarrassed. That wasn't even me. You know what I mean? Whatever my mother didn't do, because it's a lie, doesn't embarrass me. And second of all, your mother slept with your uncle. That's what she left Shamea with. Shamea left crying because she really had to think, did my mother sleep with my uncle? You know what I mean? Because Shamea is such a pawn in her mother's game that she doesn't realize, like, it might be more to the story. And so I want to get into some social media reactions to last night's episode because it was a lot. But I just want to put it out there that Shamea is playing a game that she doesn't realize she can't win. And the reason I say she can't win is because she started the game too late. If she had started 10 years ago, she had came on Real Housewives of Atlanta at the same season as Porsha, she would probably have more of a chance as far as having like a stronger fan base, having a stronger network within the actual circle of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I feel like she's coming in too late. She's beefing with someone who is the star of the show, and it's just not going to work. But let's get into what y'all are saying. Let's get into what y'all are saying on social media. All right, you guys, so let's get into the tweets. Kevin Bobby said, mind you, Shamea is saying which one, as in which uncle, because she wants Porsha to name names. She knows Porsha is lying. And sure enough, Porsha can't name which uncle. Porsha has shown y'all time and time again that she be making stuff up. Now, this is the thing. I wanted to address this first because we can't verify the truth in either one of their accusations. We can't verify if Miss Diane tried to sleep with Mr. Bob. And we also can't verify if Miss Sara tried to sleep with her brother-in-law before he was her brother-in-law. Like, we can't verify any of it. And so when he says that Portia's lying, we don't know that Shamea's mama is not lying to her. Someone else said Shamea is saying the truth, and she was spot on saying, like mother, like daughter, it's a generational thing. That's the same thing that Porsha said to her. She said, you and your mother are low down, dirty snakes. And that's what they're bringing to the show. Their mama's beef. And that's what the show was made for. Someone else, the third king, said, I understand Shamea may be hurt that her friendship with Porsha collapsed. But starting this argument is simply Shamea lashing out because she failed to accept that she messed up the friendship last season, and now she wants to cry? Come on. This is what people say about Shamea wanting to cry, wanting to be a victim. What Shamea did last season was kind of like cry, allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because it was off camera, but she allegedly cried and played victim off camera to Drew and Angela brought it back to Porsha. Someone else said, this is Shamea. How dare Porsha make up with my friend Kelly and continue to ignore me? I'm about to F up everybody's night and drag our mother's 30-year-old tea that has nothing to do with us to the table. Somebody get her in therapy and do it quickly. Quickly. And someone else posted this clip. This is Shamea talking to Cynthia. Reality Speed posted this. They said, again, Shamea brought the issues between their moms up first. She brought it up to Cynthia. We would not have known of any feud between them if Shamea didn't bring it up to Cynthia first on camera. This is a little bit different on social media because on social media, on YouTube and things like that, we talk about it. But as far as being on camera and bringing it onto the show, Shamea brought it onto the show. And this person said, and just so we're clear, Shamea brought the moms up first. What Porsha posted on IG, that IG story that they showed, was in response to this scene. That's what Porsha was responding to. Shamea brought it to the show first. Someone else said, this Queens of Bravo. They said, first Shamea brought up Porsha's daughter at dinner in front of everybody. Then she throws Miss Diane's name into the mix. And when Porsha pushes back, Shamea is the one that ends up crying. This was beyond low behavior. Someone else said, so Shamea's issue is that Porsha is paying her dust. And that Porsha is moving forward with everyone else, like Drew said. And that is her issue. And she verbalized that. She verbalized, why can Porsha forgive everyone else, but she can't forgive me? She verbalized that on the show. Someone else said, her mom tried to sleep with your father, but your mom stayed friends with her for years and allowed you to be best friends with her daughter. Okay, girl. Now, I want to say this. I noticed that Shamea uses the best friend title very loosely. Even her followers on social media, she calls them best friends. Anyone she makes a connection with, she calls them best friends. And I feel like we fell for that. When Porsha brought her onto the show and Shamea was calling Porsha her best friend, I felt like we fell for something that was not real. I don't think they were ever really best friends. And sometimes people will use that term, or they'll use a relationship with you and they'll amp up the relationship to manipulate you. And I kind of wonder if that's how Shamea was using that best friend term on Porsha. But anyway, shout out to Kempire. Kempire said the way that Shamea crashed out just proved why Porsha did not feel comfortable having her daughter over her house. I feel like Shamea knew that. I feel like Shamea is a mom and she knew why Porsha's daughter is not allowed over her house without Porsha. I feel like she knew that, but it was just bait. Shamea was not surprised. Someone else said friends like Shamea are dangerous. Her Achilles heel is what she can't buy. Now, these are the tweets that are the most popular on social media. I'm not saying I agree, but they said Shamea can't buy aura, spirit, authenticity, or respect. She hates Porsha is the people's princess, and unfortunately for her, the hate was on full display tonight. Porsha has incredible discernment. I don't know if I agree with that part. Porsha and her discernment. I also don't necessarily agree that Shamea doesn't have a good aura, spirit, or authenticity. I feel like she doesn't get respect on this show, and she doesn't realize it's because she's coming for an OG. She's coming for the people's champ, and she doesn't realize you can't just get the same platform as someone and think you're going to get the same result. And Porsha hints at that on next week's episode when she talks about destiny swapping. That's what she's referring to. You cannot do it. What God has for you is for you. Queens of Bravo also posted the way I scream. So this is Shamea saying, but everybody doesn't know that your mom tried to sleep with my dad. Why'd she say that? K. Michelle, oh my God, I thought K. Michelle was going to break down when she said that. She said, oh no. And Porsha said, I took that home to my mom. She was flabbergasted. Shout out to Tammy Talks. Her flabbers were gasted. You know why? Because your mom slept with your father's brother. Your mom slept with your uncle. That is what Porsha was saying. And again, these are all allegations. We can't prove either one to be true. I know people are saying Porsha is lying. People are saying Shamea is lying. We don't know. But the fact remains that Porsha is a professional. She's a reality TV professional. And what Shamea thought would break her down, didn't. It didn't. And Shamea is the one that left crying. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think.